So ever since I started making these videos, I've always wanted a clock in the background, and the reason why is because a lot of times you don't get a good sense of scale of how long these things actually take, especially if you've never 3D printed before. And you can put a caption at the bottom saying total print time was 16 hours, 22 hours, whatever you want, but it's not as satisfying as seeing that clock just kind of flying by in the background. So I wanted a way to do this reliably, so I started using my PC monitor in the background. But I had to change that because my PC desk isn't very sturdy and I needed the space, to be honest. So what I did was I went out and I bought a clock, just a little $5 clock from like the local dollar store, and you can see that now here on the screen. And the way that I mounted it on an old hard drive enclosure. So if you want to do this, the first thing you need to do is go get a clock off of Amazon, and preferably one with a little handle on top, and you can see up there. And you can find all kinds. You can get the ones with the wide hoop like I have, or you can get the ones with a little short little hook or whatever. Because remember, any mount that you make, you can just print on your printer. That's the beauty of having a 3D printer. So I found one that I liked and I bought it. So then I went into Thingiverse and I found this headphone stand, and it's a MakerBot headphone stand, and it's great and it's awesome. And if you need to modify it a little bit to fit yours, then that's fine. And here you can see the clock that I got, and it standing on top of the little hard drive enclosure, and it's printing, and it worked okay, but I knew that I wasn't going to have that solid black monitor screen in the back anymore after this. So I wanted it to kind of blend in, and if I would have had some more black filament at the time, I would have printed this black, because black just doesn't stand out as much and it blends in with the clock and you don't really notice it, but I didn't, so I'm going to end up having to spray paint this later. And FYI, if you print this on your own, the only supports that you need are at the bottom. You do get a little bit of, I guess, filament droop at the top of the headphone stand, and you'll see that in mine. But it's easily fixed, and you can fix it with just a little bit of sanding, and it saves you a lot of material. And honestly, for what this is being used for, I didn't care if it was super clean at the top. I just wanted it to be functional. So here's the time lapse kind of finishing up, and you can just see that clock whizzing by, and I really like that. I like seeing the hands move. I might take the second hand off. I do find it a little bit distracting, but there it is. And at the end right there, you kind of see that little bit of droop. So I put it down, and this thing works way better than what I expected. And like I said, I wish it was black, and I'll probably end up painting it or reprinting it with black filament. But you just put it on there, and it just hangs there. And I mean, it's technically a headphone stand, but you don't need it. So whenever you put something out, always go into Octolapse and check out your stream and make sure that it's in frame. Make sure you don't have any kind of reflections coming off the face of the clock. And that's kind of what I noticed. There were some reflections, and I knew that my image was a little bright, and sometimes Octoprint, you just got to kind of reload your camera adjustments if your server has been shut down at all. So I applied it and then went back into the stream, and all of my image settings were fixed, and I didn't really see that much glare. There is a little bit of glare there in the bottom right corner, but it's not too terribly bad. If you do get a glare, you could just take the face of the clock off or something like that, or so you don't get that glare. But it's really up to you. I have an overhead light, and it tends to get a lot of glare if it's angled upwards toward the ceiling, so if you can try to point it a little down towards your tabletop, and you won't get that glare. So anyways, I hope you found this informative. I hope it was, give you an idea of, if you want to put a clock in your time lapses, it's an easy way to do it, so you don't have to worry about placement or whatever, and you can kind of move that thing around anywhere that you want. So if you like this, hit subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and if you hate my videos later on, then you can always unsubscribe. And give it a share if you want. I would appreciate it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.